Okay, so this past week has been a big improvement over the previous 2 or 3 weeks. For starters, I now have a working mouse. The cord is a little short, but my mother found it while she was cleaning up, and she said, I don't know where this mouse came from or even if it still works because nobody's using it, but you can try it. And it's got kind of a short cord, but it's good enough for me, and it does work. So I'm using it, and I've been able to de-stress with my video games. I'm also working on a number of other things. I met just about all of my goals. I made the little attachment for my thing here, and it holds on quite nicely. Well, the wool won't shake like that. So I took 2 pieces of some scrap metal I salvaged from a curtain rod. I cut them to shape using a pair of titanium shears I bought while I was with Fancy Pants one weekend back at my old apartment. I needed them for cutting some different metal. I cut them off. I pounded them into flatness because they were a curtain rod, they were round, and I duct taped them to a measured piece of cardboard. I also learned how to cut corrugated cardboard using my box cutter in a way that's much more precise than I had been, so I'm very pleased with myself. This was a great learning experience. And now I have a to-do list, which I have filled out with new things to do for the next week. I have long-term and short-term goals. So I have a lot going on. Overall, last week was a success. I did like all of my goals. I'm looking at my stuff. I I worked. I did everything great, and I'm happy. I think I picked up an extra student that I wasn't expecting, and I worked with them, and it looks like they'll be a recurring student, so that's extra money, which makes me happy. The only other thing that was a little unusual is I went to a social event. I got to hang out with some people, and I got to meet and be around people my own age, people who, when I say I've got, you know, degrees and I can't seem to find a decent job, I'm working minimum wage, someone else is like, yeah, I majored in physics, I worked tables as a waitress for a year before I went back to grad school. And it's like, yeah, nobody's doing well. But it was good to meet other people who are my age and not the older crowd who are like, all you have to do to get a job is walk in and fill out an application. Why don't you have any work? Because it's not like that anymore. It's not like that for people without experience. That's the other thing. The older people have work experience and are now more desired. Young people don't have work experience, and that's the measure everybody's using. And if you don't have it, then everyone looks at you funny like, well, why not? Because I was in school. Oh, why'd you waste your time with that? Because I was told it was an investment. I forgot these are the same people who crashed the stock market. Anyway, so here I have my thing. I'm going to hang it up. And I have goals for next week. Part of it is to take stock of my money and plan a proper budget because I keep losing track of little bits and pieces. The big thing I want to make sure I have included in my budget over the next 2 or 3 months is animazement because I wanted it. I was looking at the end of this month, not looking great, but I'll figure something out. I also have my online classes. I want to try to catch up in signal analysis. I think it's a lost cause, but I'm going to try anyway because it's almost over. And I have another class that's starting called well, it's a class on irrationality, which is a fun class, so I don't expect it to be challenging. Professionally, I want to secure my windmill. I finished my A-frames this past week. I want to secure it to the frame that I'm going to attach the windmill to, and then I'll be able to demonstrate it in a video and be like, look, it works, it's alive, except it's not alive, but you know what I mean. And I also have long-term goals that I can start working on. One of them is business cards. I think that's one that I can do in the not too distant future, but that's going to be a when I have money for it kind of thing, kind of a splurgy, fun thing. And other than that, yeah, I can't think of much else I have going on. I'm making a shelf for my brother out of cardboard to hold his video games. That is the big challenge, because video games are kind of heavy, but cardboard is strong if you know how to work with structures. And, you know, in aerospace, we work with extraordinarily light things that hold up thousands of pounds. It's like, we need you to build a wing that holds up 100 pounds of force, and you can only have 4 pounds of materials. Go! So, I'm going to work on it.